Tov Yeladim. Shalom Alechem.
Shalom, Rabbi. Shalom, Rabbi.
Hello, everybody. Let's turn on our cameras and start our week. Alrighty, everybody's turning on their cameras. Alright. Let's start off with Manjaris Land this week. Lev's gonna pray. Manjaris is gonna do the Shema. And Lev's gonna do the 10 Commandments in English.
Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for everything you have given us. Thank you for letting us come to this class one more time so that we can learn and help us to pay attention. And in Yeshua's name, Amen. Shema Yisrael Yehovah Eloheinu Yehovah Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Bayed. Hear Israel, the Lord our God is Lord God. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Do not make any idols before my face. Do not use the name of the Lord. And wait, hold on. Do not use the Lord's name in vain. Keep the Shabbat holy. Honor your mother and father. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not lie. Do not covet.
Alright, let's give Lev the big 2 fingers. Alright, we're starting in our studies this week. We're going to do Parasha number 10. Okay, Makets. Alright, so now, who wants to read? Put your hand up. Alright, Lev wants to read. Read verse 21.
They said to each other, "We are in fact guilty concerning our brother. He was in distress and pleaded with us. We saw it and we wouldn't listen. That's why this distress has come upon us now."
Thank you, Lev. Alright, what's happening in the account in the scriptures is that the famine has hit the land, and now the brothers have gone down to Mitzrayim, they've gone down to Egypt, and now they've been thrown in jail. Yosef has recognized his brothers after all these years. It's now 13 years later, and they think Yosef is dead, and now they're saying distress. What is distress? Let's start out with Riyad today. Riyad, what does the word distress mean? D-I-S-T-R-E-S-S. D-I-S-T-R-E-S-S.
Guess it's like maybe pressure.
What do you mean pressure?
Well, like maybe that it's a bit hard to explain for me.
We'll try. It's
Okay.
Monday morning.
Um
Well, what does pressure mean? Is pressure on your head? You stand there with a brick on your head? What?
no, pressure is like you're put under maybe like you're in a difficult situation.
You're in a difficult situation. Okay. Marley, what is distress? D-I-S-T-R-E-S-S.
When you're not excited but kind of worried that you're not ready for something like a test in math and you're not ready.
So you're not ready? You're in distress because you're not ready.
Yes.
Okay. We're getting closer. Michael Lemma, are you there, Michael Lemma? What does the word distress mean, Michael?
Mad?
Distress. Distress. Distress, Michael.
When they're mad?
And you're mad? Can you tell me a little bit more? Explain a little further, Michael?
When something is hard?
Something is hard. Okay, we're getting closer. That's pretty good. Well, Kevin, are you there, Kevin?
Yes.
What does the word distress mean, Kevin?
When you're worried?
When you're worried. That's a good one. That's a good word. When you're worried. Okay. When you're worried. Distress. Okay, let's go over to the Laras. So let's see. Yeshua. Can you tell me what the word distress means? Yeshua, are you there? Can't hear you. Oh, he's not there? We can't hear you. Dad's trying to fix it. WTRCradio.com. Go on your microphone, pick your microphone. Give them 1 second, guys. We're looking at the word distress because the brothers are, okay, let's read this while they're trying to fix it. They said to each other, "We are in fact guilty concerning our brother. He was in distress." Oh, I think we can hear you now. Let's see. Yeshua, can you tell me what the word distress means?
Distress means like
Speak louder.
louder. It's like you're scared.
Scared?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin said worried. Yeshua said scared. Can you explain scared a little bit more, Yeshua?
Like
You must laugh.
around you.
Say it again, please.
Like something dangerous around you. That
Something dangerous around you. That's good. That's a good understanding. Distress, something dangerous around you. Clever baloney.
or looking for something.
Worried because for example, you could take the coronavirus right now. People are people are worried and they're not calm and they're like buying things. They're like buying a lot of things.
Okay, so they're worried about not having stuff, so they're bringing stuff to their home, so they're worried because of the fake coronavirus.
Panicking.
Panicking. That's a good word. So we got worried, panicking, scared. All right, these are all good words, guys. All good words. Okay. Now, in the parashas that we did the weeks prior to this, before this, so we're now in Bereshit 41, Genesis 41, verse 1 through chapter 44, verse 17. Okay, now the brothers, now famine has come on the whole world. Okay, so now the brothers have gone down and thrown them in jail. And immediately they think of an event that happened 13 years ago. Why do you think, Vicky, why do you think that they immediately think about their brother? He was in distress, now we're in distress. It's 13 years ago. Like, how old are you, Vicky?
I'm 12.
So it's before you were even born. This event happened. Now, can you remember things when you were a baby?
No, I'd say that like I remember one thing that happened when I was 3, but only to when I was 4, really.
Okay, so now the brothers are remembering an event that happened 13 years ago. Why do you think that they would think like that? You know, the brother was in distress and now we're in distress. Why do you think that would come to their mind?
Well, I'd say that maybe because it was like an event that everybody was worried and nervous about. So, and like it was probably like one of the biggest things that happened, maybe. So then that would just come to their mind immediately.
So you're thinking it was a big event, that happened 13 years ago. Now they're in distress. All those events over those 13 years, they immediately go boom, right? They think about that.
Well, you can say like the 9/11, like everybody remembers that. So like in 20 years, I think that people will still remember that.
Were you alive when September 11th?
No,
No, so you can't remember it, right?
no.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good example, Victoria. All right, let's see. Is Jennifer there with us today? Jennifer, are you there in the?
Yes, shalom.
Jennifer, wow, Jennifer. She's hiding from the camera.
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer. Now, Jennifer, why would the brothers think of something that happened 13 years ago? Like, why would that immediately come to their mind? What do you think that reason would be?
Maybe it might have like a symbol or like something that's happening right now, like in that moment. Like it's similar.
Also, it's similar. So you're thinking because they got thrown in jail and they threw their brother into slavery, they're thinking it's similar?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a pretty good idea. Let's see what Adrian thinks. Adrian, what do you think? This is 13 years later. They've forgotten about the brother, or have they forgotten about the brother? They said in verse 21, we are in fact guilty concerning our brother. He was in distress and pleaded with us. We saw it and wouldn't listen. That's why this distress has come upon us now. So they're immediately thinking of something that happened 13 years ago.
They're probably thinking that, yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you saw your brother, you're probably gonna remember it and it's probably gonna haunt you for a long time. Just, you're always gonna end up remembering it and just, it's just gonna haunt your experiences, your life, for the rest of your life.
So then why do what you did? Why do something sinful then?
Well, I mean, they really hated Joseph. Well, maybe not Reuben, but I mean, he hated him, but he was a bit more responsible. Well, they sold him, as I've said. Now, they planned that out because, well, they wanted to get rid of him, and that would have probably been the easiest way without killing him.
Yeah, well, they did that 13 years ago, and now they're thinking of that immediately because they're in distress. You don't think anything has happened in their life in 13 years?
No, I mean, when you think about it, really, if you were to, say, for example, sell your brother into slavery or kill your brother, it would probably end up haunting you. You'd remember it a lot. It would come up a lot in thought. compared to other ideas.
It would come up a lot in thought. Well, that's interesting. Then why do something bad?
There is the passion of the moment, and then there is active planning to see how they can get rid of someone, or there's a reason. In this, I think it turned from passion of the moment into, well, then they started planning out how to resolve it so it wouldn't come out and they wouldn't be punished for it and everything. I mean, throwing your brother into a well, it's still better than murdering him. That one's on Ruben, but they now had to figure out a way to get rid of him because I mean they get in trouble if Jacob found out that they literally threw their brother into a well.
Yeah, you would seriously get in trouble. But now this is 13 years later, and they're thinking of that event. Okay, let me go over to Mia. Mia's got her hand up. Mia.
So about this whole thing about the sin, of course they'd remember it. They would know exactly how their brother was, the amount of money they sold him for, stuff like that, including the lie. Why would they remember this? Because they'd have to keep up with the sin they did, especially with the lie, because we all know that the brothers made up the lie that Yosef was killed by wild animals. They had to keep the same story to tell. They told everyone, like anyone who'd ask them, like, "Oh, what happened to your younger brother? Like the one with the nice coat or robe?" And they'd say, then they'd have to keep saying, "Oh, he was killed by wild animals." Because if they let a little bit slip, then their father would find out and probably be very upset and make them tell the truth.
So do you think this event would be coming up all the time over the 13 years? And, after a while, people forget about, that person, right?
By the way, I mean, never mind. Sorry. Of course it will come up in their memory because it's sin. Sin. Sometimes we don't really forget about sin because it's something that we did wrong. Even though we are corrected, we still remember it.
Okay. All right. So something we did wrong, it's always going to come up in our mind. Allie Mae. Allie Mae. Good morning, Miss Allie Mae. We're talking about distress, about the brothers being in distress. Why do you think after 13 years this immediately pops right into their mind? Can you remember something from 13 years ago?
Yes, it's like something bad, but I mean, like 13 years ago, I was like 1. So, like if it was,
You were
I
like,
can't remember that.
so do you remember
I
stuff
wouldn't be
from
able to
10 years
remember
ago?
it.
Do you remember stuff like from 10 years ago? Go ahead.
No, not really. I don't really remember things from that far back. But if I was like maybe 20, I probably would be able to remember that far back because then I'd be older and I would know about before. I was 7, like 13 years ago. 20, I'd be 7.
Okay. Okay, everybody, this is good. And so Allie Mae is saying when she gets older, she might remember things a little bit easier. No, you don't remember. Unless it's a big event. Now, it says here under the picture, you see the man, he's got his hand on his face. Everybody put their hands on their face. Oh, it's terrible. Okay. Because the man in the picture He's distressed about something, okay? And distress is worried, scared, okay? And when you do sinning, this is the part about that we're going to be learning about this week. Sin is always going to catch up to you. What does that mean? Sin is going to catch up to you. Elisheva, were you ever chased by somebody? You ever chased by somebody at the congregation? You're running around? Sheva? You ever get chased by somebody like Isabella at the congregation? Did they ever catch you? Can't hear you, Sheva. Are you talking, Consuelo? Can't hear you. Check the microphone settings up in the audio part. Okay, I'll come back to you. Shmooey wooey. What does it mean? Did you ever get chased by Mr. Pincus, or you ever get chased by Hadassah? Does she catch you, Shmuel?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you run and you catch Hadassah? Can you catch Hadassah?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say I'm gonna catch you, right?
Yeah.
Hadassah, can Shmooey catch you when you're running around?
Yeah.
How can he catch you? Aren't you older and faster? I can't hear you, Hadass.
I run more faster than him.
You do? Then how does he catch you?
He's pretending that he has speed.
Shmooey puts on his super shoes and he can run fast and catch you?
Yeah, Dad. The black.
He's got rockets in his shoes?
If he has a rocket shoe, he would blast off and up.
Maybe he's got a frog in his shoe? Hey, let's see if we can hear Sheva. Sheva, then you ever run around the congregation and another little person catches you?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Who did you say just now? Who follows you around? You just said her name. Say it. Isabella.
Okay, do you run and does she catch you? No, you can outrun her?
You run faster than her? Yes.
Does she try to run away from you and then you catch her? It's a game, right? Yes or no?
Yes or no? Yes.
Okay. So we're playing a game, everybody. And when you sin, you're trying to run away from sin. When you sin, you're trying to run away from sin. Kevin, do you ever try to run away from Michael? You ever try to run away from Michael, Kevin?
Yes.
Can Michael catch you?
Yes.
Michael can catch you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. Michael, can Kevin catch you?
Sometimes.
What, Michael?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. All right, let me go over to another family. Let's go over to Marley. Can Riette catch you?
Yes.
What about you, Riette? Can Marley catch you?
Well, I'm usually too fast for her.
Usually, but not 100% of the time.
Well, if she tricks me.
She tricks you.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes she pretends she's going one way, but then she's really going in my way or something.
What about, can both of you catch Adrian?
Yes, Adrian's very easy, and I can run away easily from Adrian.
Adrian slow as a turtle?
No, but he is pretty fast, but I can run away from him. It's almost like running away from myself.
Running away from yourself?
Yeah, we're both really fast. I can
Go ahead,
catch
Adrian.
The fact of the matter is that recently I've been running too, so my stamina and my speed is a little better, Marlies. I've caught up to you before. I've been
Okay.
able to catch you. I've been able to.
All right. Okay. So what we're talking about is running away. But it said the plans of Jehovah always come true, and sin always catches up to you. Okay, sin always catches up to you. Okay, so sin always catches up to you. Now the brother. Now why are we talking about catching? You know, because we have to have the idea of running. Everybody run. Everybody run with their fingers. Run with their fingers. Run with their fingers. Ah! And another thing is trying to catch you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so there. Sin's always going to catch you. Okay, as Marley said, well, sometimes we catch one another. Okay, sin is always going to catch up to you. Sin is always going to catch up to you. It might take a while. Okay, it might take a while. So here it's 13 years later. So you got to think of it as you're a little kid, like Elisheva or Shmui and Hadassah are little. You got to play the game like you're chasing somebody. Okay, so sin is chasing you. Okay, what would it be like to have sin chasing you? What do you think? What do you think, Shmui? What would it be like to have sin chasing you? You got a new person trying to get in.
That would be bad.
It would be bad? Why? Why? Speak up, Shmoo. What about you, Hadassah? Would it be scary if sin would be chasing you? What do you think sin looks like? Has sin got a pink dress on? You got to speak up. I can barely hear you.
He has stripes on him, on his face, and horns.
Sin has got stripes on his face?
Yeah.
Okay.
And sharp hands and sharp teeth. Horns.
What do you think, Yeshua?
He's black. He's the color black. And
Sin is not purple?
no. And it got horns. It has horns.
Got horns? Has got sneakers on?
No.
No. Then how does he chase you?
He's from lying like you do something bad.
What?
When you do something bad.
So how does sin chase you? Does he fly after you? Does he use the jetpack? How?
you
He's in your head?
yeah, like you did something wrong. And then it goes remember, 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 remember all over again.
Well, that's very interesting, Yeshua. Let's see. Sheva. Sheva, what color is sin? Is sin red, purple, green? What color do you think sin is?
What color? Yellow.
Sin is yellow. Okay. Does sin wear a mask? No. Does sin have sneakers on to chase you? Speak.
Yes.
What color sneakers does sin wear?
Color. Pink.
Pink sneakers on sin? I wouldn't be afraid of sin if he was wearing pink sneakers. Okay. All right. Let's go over to a little bit older kids. Lev, what does sin look like? Because it says the plan of Jehovah always come true, and sin always catches up to you. What does that mean?
Well, sin catches up to you. I'm thinking what it means is like, even if you turn around, it'll be right there. And the color of sin is scarlet. How do you know?
The color of sin is scarlet.
Yes, because it says in one of the Psalms, I think. One of the verses. One of the verses it says, "Your sins will be as dark as scarlet."
Okay. Is sin wearing sandals?
No,
Well, how does it catch up to you?
it's probably wearing blood.
Sin is wearing blood? What do you mean?
No. Your hands, blood is on your hands.
Well, wash it off.
I don't think
Maybe when you made a mistake, where is your sin saying? Where do you sin?
the sin, when you make a mistake, it stays in your mind when you sin. But when you but when you for but when you say but when you ask for forgiveness, then you feel that relief of sin.
Okay, so sin is in your mind. Can't you toss it out? Can't you delete it from your mind?
No.
No. What do you mean, no?
You can delete it from your mind with Yeshua, but not by yourself.
Interesting. Mia?
Think of sin. We see that sin always catches up to us. How do we put that as a physical example? Think about when it's very hot and humid in the summer, and there are the clouds of mosquitoes out, and they're chasing you because, they drink blood. So,
Only the
you're running
women.
away.
Only the women.
No, they can attack boys too.
No, the women, the mosquitoes that suck blood are only women.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Okay, so you're trying to run away from them, and then you stop because you're tired. You think they're gone. You turn around, they're around you again, and they're annoying you everywhere. They can end up going to your eyes or your ears or bite you. And so the way you can get them away is putting repellent on, bug repellent, or frankincense and myrrh oil or whatever you want to use as bug repellent. So if we apply that to us, then we're trying to run away from sin, but we haven't repented. When we repent, that's and we ask God to forgive us, then we're not supposed to do it again. So we repent. The sin is like the mosquitoes. Being forgiven by God and Yeshua is the bug repellent. And then after that, there's that relief that comes to your mind from being guilty of your sins.
Okay, so Yeshua's like bug repellent. Yeshua's like bug repellent?
If you want to apply it, if you want to do a comparison between being chased by mosquitoes and being chased by sin.
Let's see what Victoria thinks. Mia says Yeshua's like bug repellent for sin. Victoria, what do you think?
Well, I actually think that's a great example.
Why?
Well, because it makes sense with everything, like the mosquitoes, and it's like it sucks blood, and it's like I guess you can say it's evil now, and it's coming after you, but you're trying to get away.
Well, what if you didn't sin?
Well, then the mosquitoes wouldn't be there.
So it'd be like you would have no blood and the mosquitoes wouldn't want your blood?
No, I think that like the mosquitoes in general just like wouldn't be there after you, so you wouldn't have a problem.
Interesting. Allie Mae, what does it mean sin always catches up to you?
I think that it means that you will always remember what you've done. Like what like they sin is not easily forgotten. And I think it means that you won't forget what you've done very easily.
So you won't forget what you've done very easily? So you got to put Yeshua bug repellent on?
I guess.
Okay, let's see what Jennifer thinks. Jennifer, what does it mean sin always catches up to you? Is sin always chasing you, Jennifer?
Maybe it means like the sin is always there with you, even though you have forgotten, it will always be there.
Like the brothers here in Bereshit 42? You know,
Yeah, it's
13
like
years
a
later,
memory. Yeah.
it's a memory. Can't you delete the memory or can't you forget about the memory? Don't you forget what you ate for breakfast last Thursday?
Maybe like an important memory, and
Like what you eat for breakfast last Thursday?
I don't know.
See? Michael, do you remember what you ate for breakfast last Thursday?
No.
Kevin, do you remember what you ate for breakfast last Thursday?
No.
No. You had coffee, right? You still having coffee for breakfast, Kevin?
No.
No? Okay, Allie Mae, you got your hand up?
I know what I ate for supper last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday? What about last Tuesday?
Not
Huh?
last Tuesday.
You gotta get by your microphone.
I don't remember what I ate last Tuesday.
See? Okay. But, okay, so it's interesting because, there's certain things you remember. There are certain things that you remember. Like Allie Mae said, I remember what I ate last Wednesday because it was probably a special meal. Maybe went out to her favorite restaurant or had takeout from her favorite restaurant or whatever. Okay? So you remember certain things. Why do you remember certain events? Let's think about that for a moment. Why do we remember certain events? Riette, why do you remember certain things but not other things?
I guess sometimes certain memories stand out.
Why would certain memories stand out?
Well, maybe if it's like a really bad, maybe something that I did wrong, like or like the time I accidentally spilled a bunch of milk. I cannot forget that.
Why did mom get really mad?
Yes.
So you remember that event mom like saying, Marlies!
She was just yelling at me in African. So I will not forget that day. Well, I hope I do, but
So you remember being traumatized by spilling the milk.
sorry, could you repeat that? Adrian yelled. Sorry.
You remember being traumatized by spilling the milk.
Yes, that was more milk than I had ever spilled before, but it wasn't that much. It was like, but it was a bunch more than I spill regularly. I mean, I was young then. I couldn't hold the milk bottle well.
So you spilled a whole bottle of milk?
No, not the whole bottle, thankfully. It actually went.
It was like a half a bottle? Half a gallon?
A bit less.
Wow. Anybody else remember the traumatic event? Mia's got her hand up.
The day Asher was born.
That was a seriously traumatic event.
It was traumatic because okay. One morning, my mom actually that morning, that May 3rd in the morning, the first time with any of us, my mom's water broke and we had to call dad. And no, at first mom is calling Brittany. I'm in the bathroom getting ready. I'm like, and she's like, Brittany. Mom's like, Mom's calling for Brittany. I think Brittany was still asleep. I'm like, Brittany, wake up! And then she goes, and then we called dad. But at first, dad didn't pick up, so we had to send a voicemail. And then dad comes, and dad's like, okay, everybody stay calm. You know, he's saying that. And me and I were like, we're eating our breakfast, like, yes, dad. Lev? No, dad.
Calm down, everybody.
Yeah, that's the one who was more nervous about it. Dad's like, calm down, everybody, calm down.
We were like this.
And remember the traffic on the highway on the way to the hospital.
I was
We
busy
were-
singing.
We were busy, and when we had class in the car at that point.
All right. All right, so you remember that like it was yesterday, Mia?
And we went food shopping with you, Rabbi.
Yeah, you went food shopping with me. We came up and picked you up at the hospital, so you can. And we went for breakfast. We went for bagels. Okay.
Kelly also taught Brittany how to choose a melon. How to tell a melon's right by smell.
Okay. So you remember some good stuff. I think Adrian's got his hand up. Adrian.
Well, if I were to say about traumatic events, there's probably every single time Marley's run at me with a steak knife, threatening to stab me.
No. What?
Well,
When?
listen, you have.
No, I have.
Well, you have held a steak knife in a threatening manner before.
You don't
At
yell,
me.
the microphone is
And with this face.
Okay.
Well, it reminds me of the time when you waved a big, sharp knife at me and said, "On guard."
All right. All right. So yeah. So what we're looking at, because we're remembering things. Now, a lot of times you remember some good stuff, but a lot of times if you've sinned, and this is what's going on in the scripture while we're talking about things catching up to you. Everybody do their running. Everybody do their running. And you run towards your own face. Ah! Okay. All right. So everybody do it again. Here's sin. Here's sin. And right in your nose. Right. Everybody blink right in your nose. Right in your nose. Okay. Because sin, all right, Sinclair Land, calm down. Okay? Sin is going to catch up to you. So you're not going to be able to delete that memory. So the brothers said, in verse 21, they said to each other, "We are in fact guilty concerning our brother. He was in distress and pleaded with us. We saw him and wouldn't listen. This is why this distress has come upon us now." Oh, no. So the brothers remember an event from 13 years ago and saying, now God is going to get us back. So you may try to run from sin. Ah! Okay, everybody. Ah! You might try to move away from those fingers that are chasing you, but you're never going to be able to outrun your sin. So the plans of Jehovah always come true. He said he's going to pay you back. So the biggest lesson that we learned for today, and we still got some more time, is that when you have to choose between good and bad, always choose good, even if it's going to cause a little bit more of a problem. Always choose good, okay? Because then you're going to have that sound. All right. We had some new people trying to get in. I can't worry about them. We've got a whole big class here today. I'll call them back afterwards. Okay. So they're saying this distress has come upon us now because it's always, if you sin, you can't delete. Everybody go like this to their head. Okay, nice and easy. You can't delete the sin unless you give it to Yeshua. All right, let me turn this off now because people are. Got to mute it beforehand. Okay, everybody tap their head. When you sin, unless you repent of that sin, it's always going to be in your brain. It's always going to be tapping on your head. Anytime something bad happens, you're going to say, yeah, it's because I did that. Because I held a knife to Adrian, and Adrian held a knife to me. And I spilt the milk, and I can't forget it. So every time Riyadh goes to pour the milk, she's like, ah, ah. Because you don't want to worry, because that spilling of the milk is still in your head. Because sin, everybody, Elisheva, do your fingers. Sin is always chasing you. Sin is always chasing you. Okay? Now let's see what we got here. Look at that kid. Who wants to read? Nobody wants to read? Okay, I guess Lev gets to read again because somebody raised their hand. Verse 9 through 13.
Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, today reminds me of something where
Wherein?
wherein I am at fault. Pharaoh was angry with his officials and put me in the prison of the house of the captain of the guard. Me and the chief baker. One night, both I and he had dreams, and each man's dream had its own meaning. There was with us a young man, a Hebrew, a servant of the captain of the guard. And we told him our dream, and he interpreted them for us. He interpreted each man's dream individually. And it came about as he interpreted to us. I was restored to my office, and he was hanged.
Thank you, Lev. Thank you, Lev. Why do we forget things? Why do we forget things? Let's see who Victoria. Why do we forget things? Things that are important. Why do you think, Victoria, we forget things?
Well, maybe like it just wait, like do you mean like why did God make us forget things or like
Does God make you forget things, or do you forget things yourself?
well yeah, we forget things ourselves. But like okay. So it's just that it wasn't on your mind at the time or there was nothing like related to that that would make you remember.
Something that wasn't related to that to make you remember. That's interesting. That's interesting. Let's see. Let's go over to Yeshua. Yeshua, why do we forget things, Yeshua?
There's too much information. And
Too
you
much
get
information, so you forget things?
yeah, too much in your head.
Do you ever forget your name?
No.
Do you ever forget where you live?
Yeah.
Why do you forget where you live?
Because I forget a lot of things.
What?
I forget a lot of things.
You forget a lot of things? Why do you forget a lot of things? You're young, you're healthy, you got funny looking hair. Why do you forget things when you're young? I thought that happens when you get old.
I don't think too much.
What, Yeshua?
Yes, answer.
I don't see.
You're mumbling.
I don't know.
Okay. Allie Mae, you had something to say? Why do we forget things, Allie Mae?
We forget things because, like, if we are told to do something and we don't do it right away and we go do something else before we do that one thing, then we forget about it because we're thinking about something else. Because most of us can't multitask very well. Like, most of us can't use, like, maybe 3 parts of our brain at the same time. It's hard for people to do that.
What about you? Is it hard for you to multitask? Can you walk and chew gum at the same time?
You know? I have to multitask to play the piano and to play the guitar too,
What do you mean?
because you're using your hands, and both your hands are doing 2 different tempos, and sometimes you have to use your foot for the pedal, and so you have to know when to push the pedal down at a certain time, and you have to know what tempo to use this hand and what tempo to use this hand. It's like 3 different parts of your brain.
So can anybody learn how to do that?
No, not anybody. It's very hard.
Okay. So it's only select people can learn how to play the piano?
Um, I guess anybody could learn how to play the piano if they really really tried, but I know it's very hard.
Okay. But anybody can multitask if they try.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go over to Riette this time. Riette, why do people forget things? Why do people forget things?
Well, maybe if the thing isn't important enough or it's just not on their mind or they're focused on something else.
Or It's not important to them and they're focusing on something else. Don't you think the chief cupbearer would have thought this was pretty important?
Yeah.
Then why did he forget it?
Maybe he was so happy to be restored back to cupbearer. Maybe he was focused on that, but um I I think maybe he was just so excited that he was chief cupbearer.
What do you think, Marley? Wouldn't you think he would, since the dream came true, the guy that told him the dream about the dream, you don't think he would remember this guy? And now it's a couple of years later, now he remembers?
Yeah, he should have remembered. I guess he was so excited.
Yes, Adrian?
I think he was just forgetful.
What do you mean he's just forgetful? How do you forget something like this?
I mean,
The brothers didn't forget about selling Joseph that we started out with. I mean, that happens later, but the brothers remember something from 13 years ago. The cupbearers forgetting something that only happened a little while ago.
I mean, there's so much stuff to do. He probably didn't feel like it was the right time. I don't know. Shy, forgetful, absent-minded,
Shy? What do you mean shy?
just not wanting to get into a conversation.
Okay. All right, Allie Mae's got the last word. Allie Mae.
He was probably saving it for another time. Like he probably remembered to do it, but like he didn't want to do it right that second because he was excited that he was getting to be the cupbearer again, and then later he forgot to do it.
All right. All right. This is things that we're going to think about this week about. That was a good answer, Allie Mae. And it's a possibility. Okay. So we're going to talk about sin catching up to us, about why we forget. Okay. We're going to go over these things this week. All right. Let me get you all on my screen. And we're going to choose a number to see who's going to close us in prayer. Let me get you all on my screen over here. One second. And I'm going to leave the room open for a little bit. I'm going to try to help that other person get into the room. Okay. I am thinking of a number from 1 to 10. Okay. Allie Mae had her hand up first.
4.
Wrong. Riette?
7.
Wrong. Lev?
I'm guessing 10.
You got it. Close us in prayer.
Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for all you have given us. Please, Lord, help us to finish our schoolwork quickly so that we can help our moms. And help us to do good on any of our quizzes or tests today. In Yeshua's name. Amen.
Amen. Have a great day, everybody. Shalom. I'm going to leave the room open for a little bit. I'm going to try to walk that person in.